Right
Shoe time again. Oh, hi Dan.
How many shoe times have we had in our lives together?
I think we're just the foot fetish gang, aren't we?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We've already been interlocking toes this morning.
We have. So today we're going to be setting up some MX30Gs, which is Lake's gravel shoe. This is the shoe I'm going to use for Badlands, all going well. It's a mesh side. Can you see my finger? You can. So it's a mesh side. They do different ones. The blue one is the meshy one. The white one, which is over here. I'll go for your, this is your one.
Nice and clean.
Nice and clean. So they do a white one as well, which is not quite as meshy, but still looks great, white shoe. So this is what I'm going to use for Badlands this year. My theory was it's probably going to be like 40 odd degrees, and I want something that's going to try and keep my feet cool. And my original thinking was white for reflecting heat, but actually I think mesh is going to be better than white.
Yeah, definitely.
You agree?
Yeah, I've got a pair of these as well, and they are a lot of cooler shoe.
Do you really notice it?
Yeah, like when I tell you when you do notice it is actually when you're riding at speed, you can feel the air in the. Like,
quite nice, though.
Yeah, whereas with those you can't.
Yeah, the reason for wanting to do this is these shoes are so dirty. These ones, these are great.
The reason is I can't be asked to clean my shoes, so I'm just going to get a new pair.
The reason is I can't be asked to clean them, so I'll get some new ones. That's a Stone Circle gravel. These shoes are fantastic, but they are black, and having worn black shoes at every other edition of Badlands, you really notice it when your feet get hot. I've really noticed it in the past. So basically want to try something a bit different. We've got enough time, a month, to get used to the shoes. Plenty of time.
It's summertime.
It's better than 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit of an anticlimax without any scales, isn't it?
So basically, Dan, before turning this on, Dan just picked them both up and went, I wish I had some scales.
My hand scales.
This is about 1 kilo? And this is about 150 grams?
This is a heavy shoe. Well, now this is a light shoe, but it makes this feel really heavy.
Because this isn't a heavy shoe, but
No.
because there's so much less material and stuff on that must be a considerably lighter shoe.
It's crazy. Use your hand scales.
Oh! It's noticeable.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Oh.
I've weighed this versus this,
Yeah.
thinking these would be way lighter because the mesh. It's only like, I think it was 14 grams per shoe.
Really? Between that and that, this still being lighter?
This is still lighter, but I thought there'd be a bigger difference.
Yeah.
But this is a really light shoe as well.
Yeah. I mean, these are more of a mountain bike shoe at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And that material is very like tough and rugged, and
As you can see,
like
put up with the crap you've thrown at it.
yeah. I mean, the material. The one thing about this material is it does seem dirt sticks to it.
No, you just not cleaned your shoe.
And dirt sticks to it.
Sticks to it. It comes off again. You just have to a bit of water and soap, and
That's this afternoon's job.
but that's like a leather.
Yeah.
So it's more durable. Whereas this is like a gravel shoe where you're not going to be, off the bike as much.
Want to bet? Special insoles.
Special insoles for a special guy.
We use G8 insoles for my shoes. Most people would just change their insoles between shoes, but because I'm me, I like to have them set up so I don't have to change them. And yes, it is more of an expense, but I found that I just tend not to actually bother wearing shoes if they don't have the insoles in, because it's a thing to faff on. So we set them up for every single pair of shoes, which they should be pretty similar anyway, but there maybe is sometimes a slight change in some of the sizing just because of the different style of shoes. So at least then the insoles fit perfectly to the shoe. That's kind of my theory. Is that a good theory?
It's good theory, because the ones that are in there are obviously like cut to size. So having them, if you swap those into those, they're lovely, like a little bit like out in terms of shape. So,
but at least we can cut them to size specifically for the shoe, and then they're going to stay in there, and it's perfect.
yes,
Yeah.
They're an adjustable insole, or like a semi-custom insole. So they have these arch pieces on the back that you can remove and then move forward and back, left and right. And then the arch pieces themselves come in different sizes, so you can, depending on the height of your arch, you can have the right size. But the thing about these is they're suspension based. So when your foot is over the top of it and it's pressing into the shoe, there's a bit of give, and that give gives you back some pressure into your foot, increases the sensory input into your arch, lots of nerve endings and sensory information that comes from your feet, and that helps your brain. Well, it helps two things. It helps your brain know where your foot is in space. The thing, like, the sensory information that comes back from the arch piece is the thing that is the reason why insoles help in the first place. So any extra proprioceptive input you can get out of your insole, it's better, arguably. But also you can move this. The argument with, or the selling point of G8 is that you can adapt this arch piece based on time spent with the insoles. So if you go from nothing to an insole, it feels really weird to start with. So what they would say is that you'd want to slowly move the arch piece forward, which is where most of the sensory input from your foot comes from, this forward part of the arch, and then you can develop more strength and more support through your foot.
Never thought of it like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, because like solid supportive insoles, they take the ability of your foot to support itself away, whereas this requires your foot to do something. So long term, it's arguably better.
Do you think that something like the G8 is better for long distance riding as well?
Can be. Like there's things you can do with this as well to increase circulation and stop any numbness. I think we have met domes in yours, don't we?
Yeah.
So these little met domes, which are Velcro back, just stick onto the insole, and it helps the foot to splay. So the metatarsals, where in between those you've got little blood vessels and nerves, helps the foot to splay so that they don't get trapped. So long distance, as your foot wants to swell, if you've not got as much space in the shoe, it's going to compress, whereas these just help to keep the metatarsals splayed open. So.
We're replacing cleats. Why is it important to replace your cleats, Dan?
Why is it important to replace these cleats in particular that have been absolutely trash?
They were blue.
How long ago these on, did you say?
January, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty, I mean, that's 6 months, right? And there's been a lot of miles on that.
Yeah, but you do a lot of mileage, and you do a lot of, like, you've been walking in these a lot. Yeah. So.
I did a road ultra in those cleats, where you had to walk on and off ferries.
Yeah, yeah. So why is it important to change your cleats? Because the cleat affects your foot stability, it affects your float, it affects ultimately your power transfer, but mainly the problems that come, or when people notice their cleats are worn, is when they start getting like knee problems or even just foot problems, when their foot becomes unstable on the pedal.
I mean, these are clearly very worn cleats, but normally the giveaway is things like this. Right, and these bits coming off.
Yeah, but also, like, hang on, let me put this one down. This bit back here is where the pedal contacts the cleat when you unclip.
Yeah.
So you can see how like that bit's worn away on the back bit of the cleat. Yeah. Once that starts to wear away, then the float becomes bigger because you've got more space there on the pedal. So these are 2 degree float cleats.
So not anymore.
They're probably now about 5. So,
which is yellow cleats.
Almost, yeah. So, yeah.
So Shimano do a 0 degree, a 2 degree, and is it what?
6.
And 6. So 6 is yellow, 2 is blue, 0 is red.
Correct.
No one needs red.
No one should ever need red.
Mate, what about like track sprinters?
Yeah. If you're doing like a proper sprint where you're only pedaling for 30 seconds to a minute, short stuff, then arguably a red cleat is fine when you're doing your track standing start. But I would still say then you'd probably still want a bit of float when you're pedaling. So
no one needs red.
No one needs red.
Everyone needs blue.
Burn them all.
Burn them all. So we've done all the shoes, cleats, insoles. Every time I come here, it does tend to be shoe day. But I'm a really big believer in that get your shoes set up right, and it stops so many issues and problems, along with having a bike fit. do it all at the same time, you're really going to help yourself long term. I mean, you'd agree with that, right?
Oh yeah. If you ever have a fit without looking at your cleats or shoes or feet, which we hear of quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah. We start looking at, I mean, with our fits, we do spend a lot of time looking at feet and everything down there, because that's really important for everything else. Probably best part of an hour out of a 2.5 hour appointment. But yeah, we've had people come, like we start looking at cleats and they're like, oh, I've not had my cleats looked at before in other bike fits. So I don't know like what that is, whether it's just a sizing and whether they're just thinking it's a fit or something. But yeah, feet are massive.
You're clipped in, you know, this is surely going to be everything comes from the foot, right? Power transfer, that's then connected to this, which is then connected to this, which is then connected to this.
Yeah.
So it's all connected, right?
It's that chain. And if you, let's say we set up your saddle position and your bar position and got your body position where we wanted it, and then went and moved your cleats back 1 centimetre or forward 1 centimetre, we'd have to go back and do the whole lot again, because that alters your saddle height, alters your saddle setback, that alters your reach. So everything stems from your feet. You've got to start from there.
I could do cleat stuff at home, but I don't like, this is personal with me, I don't like doing it because I've had knee problems in the past and I would prefer to have a professional do that. That's why you need one of these tools.
These are great as long as you know how to use it.
Yeah. So this effectively allows you to line up the cleats, right? You put the shoes on each side.
It allows you to transfer your cleat position from shoe to shoe. That's a really arty shot.
Oh yeah.
You've done this before. Yeah, so if you've got cleats on one shoe and you want to transfer them to another, or you've got cleats on your road shoes and you want to put some cleats on your SBD shoes, you can do that using these.
Do you sell these?
We sell these.
Yeah.
Online shop, ukbikefit.com/shop. Oven in here.
Tweaking this bike, what have we had to do so far? Put the saddle forward or back?
Bring the saddle back.
Back? Interesting.
Saddleback.
Saddleback. I specifically asked for an inline seat post for this frame. They provide it with a 25mm setback seat post, which for me would be too far back really. It'd make it too long, right?
Yeah, then you do your saddle forward.
Saddle forward. If you are looking at the Sum or the Sum Pro, you can get an inline seat post. You just have to contact Argon 18 directly and they can sort that out for you. Next thing we need to sort out is the fact that the stem's wonky, isn't it?
Just reduce the wonkiness first, which will help.
Yeah, it feels wonky. It looks wonky.
It looked very wonky.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a look at everything else now that it's straight.
Just done some tweaks to that bike. Dan's going to explain what happened.
Well, you know, I said we maybe wanted to try out what it looked like lower.
Yeah.
That was before. The only thing we've done is rotated your bars down and changed the shifter angle. And now the sun went in, but your shoulders drop and your upper back drops. That's why I wanted to go lower.
And all we've done really is pull the saddle back, rotate the bars down, and therefore adjust the shifter position, right?
Yeah, the bars were rotated up and the shifter angle was very high.
Yeah. Causing
this difference in angle between your forearm and your wrist. So you said it felt pretty heavy on your wrist. You thought it was because it was like too low, but really it's just because
you can really see the difference.
Position. Yeah. Much more in line.
Can you do that again?
Try.
Yeah, you can really see the difference. Thank you.
No worries.
Another
Pleasure.
productive day.
Another productive morning.
What?
It's been like 4 hours, but it's just still the morning.
I mean, we filmed about half an hour worth of stuff and then chatted for about 3 hours. Dan is from UK Bike Fit, which is my local bike fitter, who has been helping me out now for probably about 3 years.
Yeah, if not longer.
If not longer. And so if you're anywhere around Matlock, Derby way, definitely check out Dan on social media at UK Bike Fit, and the website is ukbikefit.com. So yeah, if you have any questions as well, drop them in the comments and I will send any that I don't know the answer to that man there who can probably answer. Thank you. I've got to take these stickies off now.